Welcome to the module on Introduction to Wireline Unit, Parts, and Applications. Today we will learn about type of a wireline units, configurations, skid, and truck mounted, slickline units and parts, gauge cutter operations, blind box operations, impression block operations, magnet running operations and paraffin scratcher, tubing end locator, tubing swage, tubing broaching operation, sand baler operations, fishing operations, applications of slickline, preparation and planning. Wireline is a method of conveying specialized strings of tools and associated specialty tools into and out of a well. The tool string is attached to a single or multi-strand wire. Wireline usually refers to the use as a conveyance for the acquisition of subsurface petrophysical and geophysical data and the delivery of well construction services such as pipe recovery, perforating, plug setting and well cleaning and fishing. The subsurface geophysical and petrophysical information results in the description and analysis of subsurface geology, reservoir properties and production characteristics. Associated with this, wireline logging is the acquisition and analysis of geophysical and petrophysical data and the provision of related services provided as a function of a long hole depth. Types of wirelines. There are four basic types of wirelines: multi-conductor, single conductor, slickline, and braided line. 1. Multi-conductor. Multi-conductor lines consist of external armor wires wound around a core of typically 4 or 7 conductors. These conductors are used to transmit power to the downhole instrumentation and transmit data, and commands, to and from the surface. Multi-conductor cables are used primarily in open, and cased, hole applications. Typically, they have diameters from 0.377 inches to 0.548 inches with suggested working loads from 6.6 K to 20 K lbf. 2. Single conductor. Single conductor cables are similar in construction to multi-conductor cables but have only one conductor. The diameters are usually much smaller, ranging from 1/10 to 5/16 of an inch and with suggested working loads of 800 to 7,735 lbf. Because of their size, these cables can be used in pressurized wells, making them particularly suited for cased hole logging activities under pressure. They are typically used for well construction activities such as pipe recovery, perforating and plug setting, as well as production logging and reservoir production characterization such as production logging, noise logging, pulsed neutron, production fluid sampling and production flow monitoring. 3. Slickline. Slickline is a smooth single strand of wireline with diameters ranging from 0.082 inches to 0.160 inches. Slickline has no conductor, although there are specialized polymer-coated slicklines and tubing encapsulated (TEC) slicklines. They are used for light well construction and well maintenance activities as well as memory-reliant subsurface data gathering. Slickline work includes mechanical services such as gauge emplacement and recovery, subsurface valve manipulation, wellbore cleaning and fishing. Parts of wireline units. Wireline units come in a wide variety of designs and configurations. Pictured here are 2 skid-mounted units which can be fitted out with slickline, braided line, or electric line. This design is commonly seen on offshore locations but can be mounted to a flatbed for land operations. The wireline truck pictured here is the unit more commonly used on land locations. Skid-mounted units. Skid-mounted units can be used on both land and offshore locations. They can be fitted out with slickline and braided line. Truck-mounted units. It is equipped with a crane and can also be fitted out with slickline and braided line. Slickline equipment. Slickline normally is a single-strand wire available in various sizes 0.108, 0.125 and 0.160. Various grades of wire are available in these sizes to allow slickline to be run in wells with corrosive element H2S etc. Good wire management is critical in preventing any incidents or loss of wire and tools in the wellbore. Access to wells is limited by the deviation of the well. Slickline can normally operate up to 60 degrees. Deviation with the assistance of roller stem and accessories. During all slickline operation and interventions, 2 tested barriers must be in place prior to rigging up PCE, changing out tools and rigging down PCE. They are used to place and recover wellbore equipment, such as plugs, gauges and valves. Slicklines are single-strand non-electric cables lowered into oil and gas wells from the surface. Slicklines can also be used to adjust valves and sleeves located downhole, as well as repair tubing within the wellbore. Wrapped around a drum on the back of a truck, the slickline is raised and lowered in the well by reeling in and out the wire hydraulically. Braided line can contain an inner core of insulated wires which provide power to equipment located at the end of the cable, normally referred to as electric line, and provides a pathway for electrical telemetry for communication between the surface and equipment at the end of the cable. Let us see an illustration of typical slickline equipment. Parts of slickline equipment. Gauge cutter operations. A gauge cutter should be run prior to running or pulling a subsurface control. This assures the operator that the tubing is unobstructed. The bottom shape of the tool is designed to scratch, jar and cut paraffin, sand or other obstacles from the tubing wall. This may request several runs with different sizes of gauge cutters. It's often used to tag top of landing nipples, SSDs or to determine total well depth. Blind box operations. A blind box is a service tool used when heavy downward jarring is required. The tool is flat on the bottom and hardened so as not to damage easily. A blind box can be used to tag top of liquids in the well. When something gets stuck in the well, a blind box can be used to jar it down and move it out of the way. Impression block operations. An impression block is a lead-filled cylinder and secured with pins in the body. This tool is used during fishing operations to ascertain the shape or size of the top of the fish and may indicate the type of tool necessary for the next operation. By the means of the appropriate weight control of a slickline unit, you will get an accurate replica of the downhole situation. Magnet running operations. The magnetic tool is used to fish from the wellbore any small metallic object that would be attracted to a magnet. Magnets are available with sleeves on the outside to secure small item during pull-out of hole. Paraffin scratcher. Scratchers are used to cleaning the paraffin deposition on the ID of tubing, nipple profile, etc. There are several types of tools used to cut or scratch paraffin. The following figure shows one type of paraffin scratcher. It can also be used to scrape the tubing wall, clean landing nipples, and fish small pieces of wireline loose in the well. It is usually run before running the gauge cutter. Tubing end locator. The tubing end locator is used to accurately locate the end of the tubing string, which can be used for depth correlations. Before the tool is run, it is imperative that tubing is cleared by running a gauge cutter or baler. This ensures that the locator will pass through the end of the tubing. With its spring-loaded finger, it can be run in various sizes of tubing, ranging from 2/3/8 till 4/2. Tubing swage. Tubing swages are used to remove large obstructions and restore light collapse in the tubing. This allows smooth running of tool string and well. The odd of tubing swage should be equal to tubing drift ID. It should be run with upstroke jar to enable operator to take it out of tubing if swage is jabbed. Tubing broaching operation. A broach is a tool run to remove metal burrs and imperfections from the tubing wall prior to running or pulling service tools. It is equipped with graduated rings, diamonds, or segments that are case hardened and highly sharpened. Different forms of tubing broaches are shown in the following figure. Sand baler operations. Baling operations are defined as the operations of collecting solids and or cleaning the wellbore. It's carried out on drilling rigs, workover operations, production wells, either onshore or offshore. The pictures here show an example of stones, large debris, and sand removed from one well. Fishing operations. Slickline fishing tools are specialized well intervention tools that are mechanically operated and help in the retrieval of other equipment that are accidentally fallen into the wellbore. A standard fishing toolbox contains wireline clamp, wireline grab, wireline finder, overshoots, tubular jars, heavy-duty pulling tool, wireline cutters, etc. The following figure shows examples of slickline fishing tools. Applications of slickline. Setting and retrieving a variety of flow control devices. Providing access to the tubing or casing annulus, sliding sleeves and perforation. Clearing obstructions from the tubing, sand, scale. Fishing tools and or wire. Conducting surveys, BHPTES bottom hole pressure and temperature, tubing or casing caliper, cased hole logging, etc. Detecting fluid levels. Setting retrieving packers. Installation and service of side pocket gas lift valves and dummies. Locating the measured end of the production tubing. Assisting in plug and abandonment operations. Preparation and planning. For wireline operations to be performed. Physical condition of the tree and rated working pressure to be checked. Rated working pressure of casing hangers, presence or absence of casing wing valves and gauges, so casing pressures should be monitored. Tree connection type, size and pressure rating need to be confirmed. Tubing hanger type and ID should be noted, especially in terms of the back pressure valve profile. Status of well flow, flowing or shut-in. Location of any gas detection equipment and monitoring/warning capabilities. Pressures and fluids considerations. Latest recorded shut-in tubing pressure. Latest recorded bottom hole pressure as well as an estimate of fracture pressure. Latest recorded depth of fluid. Types of fluids produced, sour or sweet, and if sour, the approximate concentration in ppm. Thank you for learning with us.